Hey guys, Ryan here from Indy Wrestling School, and today we're talking about how wrestling bookers deal with injuries from their talent coming up. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. If you're new here, please consider subscribing below. We put out new videos every single week. One question I get asked a lot, and it seems like it's happening more and more to me personally, is that when your wrestlers get hurt, what do you do? Now, there's a number of different ways to go about this, right? Is this person one of your main champions? Let's start with assuming they're one of your main champions. What kind of injury is this? Is this a serious back injury, a serious neck injury? Did they pull a muscle and maybe their knee or something like that? I don't even know if you can pull a muscle in your knee. Is this something that they can get around with? Can they work through a match? Even if it's a short match, what are the risks? What's the reward? All of that kind of goes into what your deciding factor is. For me personally, I always try that if I have a champion, I like to see the title change hands in the ring if possible. Even if that means the bell rings, the person gets hit in the head, goes down 1, 2, 3. Even if you change it to an I Quit match and you just choke the person out so they don't need to actually take a bump or anything like that. If there's anything you can do, and you can get real creative with it, there's anything you can do to get that championship off the current champion without having them to have to vacate the title, that is what I always find to be the optimal answer. Now, obviously, if you have to vacate the title, the number one go-to for everybody is a tournament. And that's great if you don't do a lot of tournaments. For me personally, we already run a lot of tournaments. We do a women's tournament, a men's tournament, and then we did a tag tournament. So we're running a ton of tournaments. So when we do something like that, what are your other options if you have to vacate a championship due to an injury? And one thing I always tell people is go to the old Intercontinental title battle royal. You do a battle royal to open the show. A battle royal is a great way to open a show. Have the last two fight in the main event in a singles match. And it always gets a great reaction. It always sets the precedent like, look, here's what your main event is. You're going to see a new champion at the end of the night. And if those two guys happen to be two guys who have never held that belt before, you're even better off because the fans will be even more excited. Now, if this injury happens to a regular roster member, you just got to be flexible. You got to be able to pull from your past talent, people you've used, be able to move the card around. Now, you might find out the day of that somebody got hurt. And what do you do with that case? You reach out to, hey, is there anybody you can recommend to the show? There might be people who just show up at the show and, hey, do you have your boots? Okay, you got a match now. So there's a number of things you can do as a promoter. You just need to be on your toes and come up with the best possible scenario in the end for what you would like to see and ultimately what the fans would like to see. And it's not just battle royals and tournaments if you have to vacate a championship. Another thing I'd like to throw at you is an endless amount of matches, right? You can do gauntlet matches. You can do ladder matches, similar to the Money in the Bank kind of thing, where you hoist the title up. Multi-man matches are a great solution to that kind of thing as well. But how would you handle it? If you had one of your main champions go down on your show, what would you do? What would be your option? What's your first choice? Let me know in the comments below. That's all for this video. If you liked it, beat the out of the like button, and I'll see you next week right here on Indy Wrestling School.